Jim Harbaugh is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers.
But wait, Monty, dude, I thought Jim was never going to leave.
We don't have sources. And, Jim Harbaugh is leaving Michigan to accept the head coaching job with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers get their man, while national champions now have a head coaching opening. It is, as we've told you, we have been anticipating this for some time. And I believe that this was the eventuality. And I think this is exactly the right move if you're the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know, Jake, what does this mean for Michigan? I think that is the first question. I think this is a huge blow for Michigan.
Yeah, obviously it's a huge blow, but I think, I'll keep the same point I made earlier in the show when we were talking about it, which is, hey, now you're in a place where you're going to get discipline. That discipline's going to be lighter because Jim is gone. So, they're not.
I don't think so. I think it'll be heavier. You really think it'd be lighter?
Yeah, because Jim is gone. So, the guy who perpetrated this stuff, I'm not saying they're going to take it easy on Michigan, right? Like, hear me clearly. I'm not saying that it's a softball punishment or like it's some type of go easy cakewalk type thing. What I'm saying is that we've gone from, hey, the you're not doing anything for 10 years. Maybe now it's you're not doing anything for 7 years. It's still going to be heavy.
I totally disagree. I think that it is going to be very difficult if you are Michigan to make the case that they should take it easy on you. And I think with everything that's been alleged against Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan football program, I think this is an absolute devastating day if you are a Michigan fan. And I think there's a lot of Michigan fans who don't want to acknowledge this. I think there are a lot of Michigan fans who thought that Jim Harbaugh would never leave them. And I think with this news, I don't know how the NCAA can give. I don't know how the NCAA can give Michigan a pass on any level here.
Yeah, look, I don't think they're going to give him a free pass. But what I'm saying is that if Jim had stayed and all the boys were still there and you retained all the talent you could, outstanding guys who went to the draft or, portal out or whatever, but like most of your roster remained, if it was essentially the same team with a few exceptions, I think the penalty would have been, the worst one we've ever seen by a lot. I think, I don't know. It's hard for me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not trying to argue with you. I just think when the guy who was the head coach is gone, that to me potentially changes the situation.
I think the hard part is the NCAA could have punished Jim Harbaugh, and now they cannot, because he is going to walk away from Michigan and he is going to leave them a steaming bag of BS on their front porch.
And it's his first time ever doing that, right?
I think no. This is multi-times. This is who Jim Harbaugh is. And I think when you look at Jimmy and you look at this situation with Jim Harbaugh, and I think he gets away scot-free to the NFL, and you look at Michigan, the NCAA can't punish Jim Harbaugh, but they can punish Santa Ono, who wanted to give Jim Harbaugh a $12 million annual salary, guarantee him the highest salary in college football, and insulate him from any NCAA punishment and guarantee his job and his pay, even if he is heavily punished by the NCAA. They're not going to take that lightly.
Yeah.
And I think you are going to see a mass exodus from Michigan.
Well, and I agree. You got to make a point out of Michigan too. Again, it's something, with all due respect, we haven't seen before.
I just don't know if you are Michigan, how do you react to this? I really don't know.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at this, and I've been telling you guys this, and I am happy to stand up here and tell you I told you so.
Yes.
We reported this 2 weeks ago, that this was always the eventuality, and there were things to see that they had to go through. And I am telling you now that this is a great move for the Los Angeles, we play at the Rams house Chargers. It's a great day for Justin Herbert. I told you yesterday on the show that Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert have had multiple conversations that Justin Herbert was in favor of hiring Jim Harbaugh as his coach. I believe that Jim Harbaugh will get somewhere, and I don't know if the numbers are public. Obviously, we are watching the wire to see what those numbers look like. But I was told that Jim Harbaugh was asking for 12. The Chargers were offering 8. My guess is they met somewhere in the middle. And it is very interesting to see how all of this will play out. And I think right now, this is a situation in two different locations. Michigan is in real trouble now. This is a very dark day for Michigan football. The Los Angeles Chargers, you are going to become, I believe you will become a contender very quickly.
And now look, and I just want to point this out because it's now all his numbers and accolades are out there, right? Adam Schefter tweeting, Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan for 9 years, and he did really well. 89-25 overall record, 40-3 in his last 3 seasons.
Yep.
3 straight Big Ten titles, AP Coach of the Year in 2021, and then obviously 2023 National Championship. So let me ask you this. Michigan fan, anybody fan, college football fan, does any of that make it worth what he left behind? Because I have trouble with that. I understand if Michigan fan feels like, hey, we won a national championship, now it's time to pay the piper. Okay, I'm good. Honestly, genuinely, honest to God, I'm good with that stance. If you're a Michigan fan, you're like, hey, dude, he brought us a natty, and we're cool paying the price for that. Awesome, great. I'm cool with that. But what I'm not cool with is that this being spun like, hey, man, he had a great career, and there's like we're just turning a blind eye to what he left behind.
Yep.
What happens? Let me pose this question. What happens if, in June it comes out, all this comes out, this summer it all comes out, and we all know what Jim did? How does that change the way people operate with head coaches in college football? Because it's never been a question, and this is what we always talk about. It's never been a question that, hey, people cheat, people game the system, people scheme, people do things to get as much advantage as possible over their competition. If you're not cheating, you're not trying, as the old saying goes. But the difference is this guy got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, bro.
Yes.
So when major programs, Michigan level programs are hiring, you can't tell me that they're not more wary for what this guy did, because I don't buy for a second that Santaono and Ward Manuel had no idea he wasn't going to the league.
That's right.
Like, they knew he was going to the league, and they probably had a pretty good idea of that after the Alabama win, in my opinion.
And I think we're in a place where you're looking at guys like Jim Harbaugh finding a difficult road back to college football.
And by the way, not to cut you off, what's Pete Thamel tweeting? Oh, Sharon Moore's the favorite to land the Michigan job. I don't know where you would have heard that.
I've heard that from day one on this show. Like, it is not. And again, it's funny, we were talking about journalism and whatnot, but we have multiple sources around this situation who have told us from day one, Jim Harbaugh was never going back to Michigan because he did not want to face a year-long ban, which I think he's well aware that he would have gotten that. Jim Harbaugh, I think, is well aware that if he'd have gone back and stayed on the job at Michigan, Harbaugh is well aware that he was facing a year ban next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was no way he was going to allow himself to be exposed to that kind of punishment. I think he was concerned that he was going to have to compete for the Charger job. But again, as we've told you for 2 weeks, there was no competition. The moment Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines won the national championship, that was Jim's job to lose. And I think very clearly the things that we need to understand here is, what did Jim get from the Chargers? I am guessing, and I've been texting with somebody and I'm waiting for a number, but I'm guessing he got between $8 and $10 million. I am guessing he has full control over the roster offensively. He has final say on every offensive player. And I am guessing that he has a relationship or knows very clearly the person who is going to be his general manager. And again, I want to make it clear, And remember, I told you this, Jim Harbaugh has already spoken to Justin Herbert multiple times. So this has all been in place. And as I reported way back before this process even started, Jim Harbaugh was not taking in-person interviews with anybody who would not agree to a basic financial framework to hire him.
Facts.
And I think this has been a no-brainer from the beginning. I think the Los Angeles Chargers have gone through the Rooney process. I think it is no coincidence that Jim stayed in LA once he got there on Monday night. I think it is no coincidence that they had a general manager interview while Jim was in Los Angeles. I think all of this was coming together, and it's why my sources were telling me that Jim was not going to leave LA without that contract being signed, and that was going to happen this week. And here we are. I think there was never a way for Jim Harbaugh, in his own mind, in his own ego, to go back to Michigan and face that suspension. He did not want to face the music with the NCAA, and now he has left Michigan to face that music on their own, and they are going to have to face it. There's no escaping now. And I think the broader question here for Michigan is, what do you say now to your alumni, your faculty, your staff, and your student body, that it's out there that you offered this guy?
Yeah, everybody's saying that on X, dude.
What's that?
That, hey, you tried to make him the highest paid head coach. He still gave you the bird.
And knowing who he is and what he did, how do you justify making him the highest paid head coach, giving him everything that he asked for, and he still walked away? And why did he walk away? I can only tell you what I've been told for months, since really it became clear that he was going to take a heavy suspension. He was never going to give the NCAA access to punish him. He could never. He is Jim Harbaugh is a lot of things, and I can tell you from having covered him in San Francisco, he is an egomaniac. There is no bigger fan of Jim Harbaugh than Jim Harbaugh, and he was never, ever going to allow the NCAA to tell him how to walk and where to walk.
And I do think we need to say the NCAA, in my opinion, should be embarrassed on how they handled this. Like it's an open thought, an open secret, if you will, that he was going to the league. Like, I mean, this wasn't any type of surprise, and yet here we are. And I see all this noise about, subdivisions where schools can pay, and NIL and portal and all these issues, and yet you just let a guy run roughshod over your football program, if you will, for the NCAA. And you've done nothing about it. Now you can do nothing about it. And don't run this nonsense out about, well, we'll issue a show cause. And he doesn't give a damn about that. You haven't punished him at that point. That's what I'm talking about. Like this, there needs to be change in the disciplinary process.
Yeah, and a lot of people are asking when the portal opens. The portal opens the moment that Michigan notifies the NCAA that Jim Harbaugh is no longer their head coach. So there is a domino effect here. I am gathering that Jim Harbaugh and Don Yee have already notified Michigan. I don't believe that Jim will go back to Ann Arbor. I don't think he will ever step foot on that campus again. I think Jim has notified through his agent, Michigan, that he is taking the job. I think I had reported yesterday, and I think even Monday, I had been told that they had not talked in 10 days. And it had been some time since Jim Harbaugh and Michigan had spoken about a contract. And I think they went back to notify Michigan that he was leaving midday yesterday, which is why this contract, these conditions were offered to Jim today, or it broke today through 247 Sports that Michigan had offered him $12 million a year, a guarantee to be the highest head coach, and that they were going to give him full immunity from NCAA sanctions.
Yeah.
I think that's why that came out today, because Jim notified them that he was leaving. I think they already know. So my guess is, because business is closed now, I would guess that Michigan has already notified the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
And I would guess that tomorrow morning you will start to see Michigan players in the portal.
Yeah.
And I think that it is going to be a very, very difficult week ahead for the University of Michigan. I would guess my opinion is, as text messages come in, my opinion is that they will move. They have to move very quickly to elevate. And yeah, one of my sources already saying that Sharon Moore already has an agreement in place.
That's what
So
I mean. If you haven't talked to the guy in 10 days, you can't tell me they don't have it all set
yeah,
up. Come on.
I think Sharon Moore, I'm told by a very good source who has been nails on this, that Sharon Moore already has an agreement in place to be the next head coach at Michigan. And I think it is going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out, because now the moment that Michigan notifies the NCAA that Jim Harbaugh is no longer their head coach, the portal opens and you have 30 days. And the issue here is that you have an academic quarter in play now. So you missed it. The biggest FU that Jim Harbaugh left on the doorstep of his players, they can't be early enrollees now, which is a real problem, because you're in a situation now where you're going to have to wait. And I could be wrong about this. I will check when we're done with the show. But my guess is they will have to wait till the spring quarter to enroll at their next school. So they're going to miss spring ball. They're going to miss a lot of practices leading up to and around spring ball. I think this is a very, 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 very difficult situation for Michigan football players. And I think it's why you saw guys like Free Harbaugh go to the NFL.
Yeah.
It's why you saw some guys get in the portal kind of early. This is a very dark time. And Sharon Moore is going to have to puff his chest up, and he is going to have to lead, and he is going to have to stick his face in the eye of the storm and keep walking, because this is going to be really, really tough on Michigan. And
I also think we need to say we're walking into unprecedented times in terms of discipline.
Man,
never seen it before.
I don't know that
NSC for sure.
I don't know that we will ever see this again. Because I think in this era of NIL and portal, it's so rare. You don't need to break recruiting rules to recruit guys. Your collectives can do that already, right? And we're talking about now having rules. Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, is talking about having rules where schools can directly pay athletes through NIL. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see this again.
Yeah,
I really don't. Hey, Kaufman, big shout out to you. Gifted a Monty Show membership. As we talk about the breaking news that Jim Harbaugh is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Adam Schefter confirming what our reports have been on this here program. We got another one right, dude.
Yes, we did.
We got another one right.
Yeah.
And I'm proud as hell of that.
People are taking note on X.
Good.
People saying, hey, we had it last week. So.
Yeah, and I think it is very interesting that you have a situation where now Bruce Feldman is reporting Michigan is expected to promote Sharon Moore to become the Wolverines' next head coach.
There you go.
Just tweeting that now. Like, I just think you're seeing a lot of situations where I just don't know how you get away from this if I feel terrible for these kids at Michigan. Because you missed, and I know you guys think that I'm stupid for saying this. I said it last time, but you look at these teams. Alabama is a great example of this. Georgia is a great example of this. Georgia misses the college football playoff. Devastated. Did they hang their heads and cry and bitch and moan and threaten lawsuits? No, they didn't. You know what they did? They got every single eligible recruit of theirs who was eligible to enroll early.
Mm-hmm.
And they got 16 extra practices, and they got to attend the bowl game. And that's why they're a dynasty. And now these kids at Michigan don't even get that opportunity because they don't get to enroll in December. They don't get to enroll before the quarter started in January. Now they're probably going to be spring enrollees, which means they're going to miss spring practice. So my guess is if you are a smart football player, you will do what a lot of kids have done the last couple of years. You will reach out through agents and through back channels to schools. You will find a new home and you will say, I'm going to go through spring practice at Michigan, and then I will I will jump in the portal. Because the spring portal date, I believe, is April 16th. And what you don't want to do is miss the practice and development opportunities that you're going to get. Because if you jump in the portal right now, you can't practice in spring with your new team.
And I don't give a damn who you are. Football shape is pads and running and
But
on the field stuff.
It's more than that, Jake. It's understanding the system, right? What you're missing is you're missing opportunities to live rep in a new offense, in a new defense, and new special teams. Okay, so if I'm not going to get that, all right, we can work through that in the summertime. But what you need to make sure you do is work technique. And that's what spring football is all about. Spring football is where quarterbacks win jobs. Spring football is where depth charts are made. And it's made that way because the quarterback shows up and he's sharper and he's better and he worked all off season and now the ball's coming off better, right? And the offensive linemen got better technique, right? And the defensive linemen have better hand power. And it's all that stuff. Like you look at what Deion Sanders put out on social media today. What's his football team doing? They're doing military style drills where they are getting more explosive, getting stronger, and bonding as a team. That's what you are currently missing.
Do you believe?
If you're a Michigan football player, you're not going to have that opportunity. And I feel so bad for these kids. Now, having said that, Michigan is going to get what it deserves because in this world, you deserve what you've earned. And they have earned an absolute behemoth of a penalty from the NCAA.
They have.
Now, having said that, holy shit, if you're a Charger fan, this is a great day. Because Jim Harbaugh is one of the elite schematic coaches in all of college football. Again, not to keep telling you, hey, look at my resume, bitches. Having covered him with the 49ers, he knows how to make quarterbacks. He understands why Justin Herbert cannot be a step and throw quarterback anymore. He's got to be a guy who's always got his front foot on the ground. He understands how to build lines, offensive lines. Look at his lines in San Francisco. Dominant, better schemes, better gap control when he arrived.
Yes.
Better wide receiver plays, better wide receiver play, better route combinations, route trees, better schematics offensively. It's as simple as that. But what does Jim Harbaugh do? Jim Harbaugh wears your ass out in about 3 years. And my guess is he gets a minimum of a 5-year show cause notice from the NCAA. So I think Jimmy's got to learn to play nice in the sandbox in Los Angeles.
Thanks.
And now you're in a division, I would remind you, that is very winnable. The Kansas City Chiefs look vulnerable. And you look at the rest of the AFC West. Are you really telling me that these guys can't compete? Oh, they can compete.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think this is going to be very interesting.
Well, and I think it's what's led to people being disappointed in the Chargers. It's why Staley's not there anymore. Like you underachieved. And it's because you've got Justin Herbert on your roster, man. So let's go. I mean, they really should, be able to be like, you should be contending for that division. If you don't win the division, you should be able to make a run of the AFC Championship game.
Man. Some of the reports are, well, we'll see. There is a black cloud over Michigan right now because there's some reporting on X that does not feel good.
So I'm saying, dude, hope you enjoyed that national championship because you're about to take it.
And I think a lot of it is, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays. But you look at some of the stuff going on, like, man, I just feel horrible. I don't mean to keep saying this, you guys. I'm sorry to be redundant. And I want to get your reaction to this. It is remarkable to me how screwed the players at Michigan are. The freshman, sophomore class at Michigan will never have an understanding of how much trouble they're in until they try to get in the portal. And there's a lot of talent there, but there's a reason so many dudes went to the NFL. No doubt. And again, I think if you're a Charger fan, I think you look at the fact that you scored 346 points and you feel good about that. You look at the fact that you gave up almost 400 points. That's going to get fixed. And I think you look at that division, obviously the Denver Broncos are in flux at quarterback. That's never good. The Raiders are in flux at quarterback. That's never good. And the Kansas City Chiefs are a team that looks vulnerable. They're a team that has to upgrade their skill positions. Now, I say that, and Patrick Mahomes has never missed an AFC championship game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can sit here and talk about them being vulnerable. They did win 11 games, and now they've won 13. So it's not as though,
Just saying.
like being vulnerable is a state of mind, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's why everyone's not so quick to say, hey, the Ravens should be favored this weekend. You look at this matchup and you're like, yeah, on paper, the Ravens got it. But again, ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands, rolling out, who the hell knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what impact he has. He is a really, really good schematic. Jim Harbaugh is a really good developer of quarterbacks and a schematic genius on offense.
Yeah, and I think there's a chance. I mean, again, we'll have to see what kind of progress he makes and how quickly he makes it. But I'm just telling you guys, like, if you haven't been paying attention to what Justin Herbert can do as a quarterback, the talent he has, I have no shame in saying it. Justin Herbert's the best quarterback Jim Harbaugh has ever had on his roster.
Period.
Like, it ain't like, don't talk to me about JJ. Don't talk to me about Alex Smith or Cap. Like, don't talk to me about any of those guys. Andrew Luck. He's better than Andrew Luck, dude. I'm telling you right now, he's better than Andrew Luck. And you give that guy 3 seconds in the pocket, he's going to shred the defense every time. So I'm just telling you, the formula to win in San Diego, LA, Rams house,
Wales vagina.
Thank you. Is not complicated.
No, it's not. Let's see. San Diego sign stealers. James says KC looks bad. They're in the AFC title game, which I quite literally just. What is this going to be like? James, like the repeater guy now? Like, I just said that. I just said that. Robert says still a head scratcher that the Bears kept Eberflus. Can't believe it.
It's ridiculous. Dude.
Wild. Dirk McLevin, Jim has a short shelf life, but he has always taken jobs where he can win now. And I agree with that. That's totally
what I'm saying.
Agree
it's not in question that he's going to be productive.
No, I agree. Derek Myrie, Jim has always cared for the kids. Yeah. But I think one of the major indicators that he wasn't coming back was his, hey, look how hung I am by calling out the NCAA's hypocrisy. Oh, they should pay the kids. Without the kids, pay. There's a reason he was saying that, because he doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
Because he was not coming back. Aaron Wilson, do you believe?
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yes.
DeLon, Jim play nice. Are you flipping kidding me? The guy is 1 or 2 different life decisions away from being a cult leader. That could be. Mad Cat, how are you? Michigan is going to have to give back the trophy. I don't think so.
But who cares? It doesn't even matter if they do or don't. That's not even the point, dude.
No.
The point is that you're not even going to be in the conversation for what? At least 5 years, probably 10. Honestly, you probably won't fully recover from where you were now for a decade. Like, I'm telling you, and I know it sounds extreme, but I'm just telling you, when you lose all that recruiting, all those scholarships, all the, the salary that you're unable to pay your staff, like, I'm telling you, all that matters. And until those sanctions are lifted, you're not going to be able to compete.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Big Ten didn't get worse this offseason. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, no kidding. Jonathan Smith was the best thing to happen to Michigan State. It's about to be 180 compared to University of Michigan. Yeah.
We'll see.
They're just going to be crippled. That's a problem. Stephen Keel, the fall is going to be long and hard with a sudden stop.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall, bro.
Yeah. RJC, man, what's up with you? Michigan should be ashamed of how they won, and they simply are not, and that's just toxic to me. Well, the word toxic has been thrown around about Michigan. It's interesting you say that, because there's a lot of people who think that the president's going to pay with his job, because much like Arizona, I mean, at some point, Santa Ono has blindly supported Jim Harbaugh. I mean, even into the courtroom, until it just was very clear he could not. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I just think it's this was always going to be the outcome.
But I wonder for like the Spanoses, did you learn anything from what happened at Michigan? Like, do you look at Michigan and say, hey, like, we understand this guy. We understand like the possible ramifications. We understand that, this could be a real bad thing for us in a couple of years, but we're willing to pay the price? Or is it a thing where I can't even believe I'm posing this, but they haven't paid attention. They don't care. That's college. This is the NFL. Jim's the best fit for us. Like that's what I wonder about in terms of the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
how much do you care about that stuff, or do you not care at all? Because if I was them, just fine in the middle, like I would at least be paying attention to what goes on.
Yeah. And interesting, another source telling me that Sharon Moore has been working his current roster for well over a month since the national championship, the week before the national championship game. So that's a very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting note. I'm telling you, this has been known. Like, I don't think this is any secret to the people at Michigan.
No, this is not shocking. You were prepared. You
Yeah.
did everything you could to, put the walls up to prepare for the incoming hurricane. Like like you knew this was happening. And I think your point about Minter is well taken. Who would be surprised? Why would you not? Like, come on, dude. Like, that was a really good defense.
Yeah, I think it's just really interesting to see how all of this is going to play out, right? I mean, you look at the guys leaving. Obviously, free Harbaugh, your quarterback's going to the draft. Blake Corum's going to the draft. Junior Colson, Josh Wallace, Jalen Harrell, Braden McGregor is another one. Chris Jenkins. Zach Zinter's going to the draft. Roman Wilson. You look, this is the bulk of your dudes. You wonder about Trevor Keegan. I have not heard that officially yet. But it's going to be very interesting. And you have a bunch of dudes that are out of eligibility now. Like it's just going to be very interesting how they are able to replace those names. And I just don't know that you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part, right? Like, I think Michigan's in real trouble. In real trouble. I believe in the Monty Show. Appreciate that. Thank you. Chargers' new motto. Who has it better than us? Bet. Exactly right. Jaffe, the portal is going crazy. It will. I think it will. Emmanuel says he's a good coach, but he definitely did some iffy stuff. No doubt. Shouty says Michigan sanctions coming soon. Dirk McLovin, the black cloud is Ryan Day's Death Star, as if 120,000 voices cried out in horror. Is this not maybe the best offseason of Ohio State football in the modern era?
Yeah, by the way, Ryan Day, you might want to win the Big Ten at some point.
Michigan incredibly damaged, wounded, in fact. And you are as talented and as prepared to win as you have ever been in the month of January, probably ever. Yeah. Certainly in the portal NIL era. And Ryan Day, it's now or never, my guy. OG Gary, 6-6 for Blue once that portal opens. How? I
honestly think that would be best case scenario. Like, and I'm not even trying to hate. Like, I literally think that a ton of guys are going to leave that program, and Sharon Moore already knows who those guys are. And I guarantee you Sharon Moore knows who he's going after once that opens.
And donuts. 2 days ago, the Bolts, do you mean the Chargers, blocked Kellen Moore, from interviewing with the Bears. Coincidence? He's already an offensive coordinator. Maybe not. Maybe Jim wants to keep Kellen Moore as his coordinator. That could absolutely be. OSU fans are getting ahead of themselves by already banking that if Michigan sucks, they automatically win the Big Ten. Settle down, peeps. Well, I don't know that I would agree with that. I think it is very difficult to believe that Ohio State can execute under Ryan Day. I think you look at SC, and now I know I've said this before, but has anybody had a more determined, quiet, serene offseason so far than the University of Southern California? I don't think so. They have been very quiet, but yet ever so productive. So I agree with that. I think Washington Oregon, Chip Kelly sucks. But you look at what's going into the Big Ten. I think you're exactly right. I don't
It got way better.
Huh?
It got way better.
Oh, it did. But so did Ohio State. I mean, has gotten remarkably better and deeper and more talented. James, the only signs that Chiefs and Raider fans will give Harbaugh is the stone cold salute and no, you aren't number one. Yeah, that's probably true. I think Raider fans wanted that.
But that's exactly where Jim thrives. He thrives in the underdog role, the us
does.
against the world role.
Yeah. Dank Climbs. What's up, Dank? Michigan going to be a decade of irrelevance. I think that's absolutely the case. Joseph Carruthers, down year for the Chiefs, and they're still in the AFC Championship. Andy
Wild,
Reid's
dude.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, dude.
And I think you look at that division, and again, I know it's wild. I don't think it's that long of a track to see the Wales Vagina Chargers win that division.
No, I mean, I think the thing with the Chiefs is that you have to have great quarterback play to beat them. You have to have a guy that can force that defense to respect the deep ball. And until you do that, you're not going to be productive against them. And that's again, this matchup, and we're going to get into it later in the week, but that's the thing with this Ravens game. Like, that's why, like, did you guys see the stats? Patty's like plus 300 yards and 3 touchdowns on average against the Ravens defense. And there's a reason for that. And so that's why I say, like,
he's really, but the reason is he's really good.
Yeah, and I agree that that Jim and the Chargers don't have a huge mountain to climb, but you got to have talent. You got to protect. Yes. You've got to protect Herbert. And to me, that's the beginning and the end. And again, that's why the Chargers swung so hard to get Jim Harbaugh. They know his philosophy. Yeah,
I think you are living in dreamland if you think he's not going to win with Los Angeles. They're going to spend money. One of the other things, and we've talked about this too, they're going to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you look at the talent that is there, defensively, the Chargers have it. They need to upgrade the offensive line. That is his first order of business.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any doubt about that. But when I look at the Chargers cap, I mean, Khalil Mack's cap hit is $38.5 million. That's a lot. Joey Bosa, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams is $32.4 million.
A lot.
Derwin James, Justin Herbert, Corey Linsley, like, you guys, they have talent. They absolutely have talent, and they've got contracts to go there. But you look at some of the guys on that roster that have to perform. Quentin Johnson has to step up and turn into an NFL wide receiver, or you've got to make changes there. Josh Palmer at $1.6 million is a steal.
Yeah, bargain.
That's a guy that he makes better. And I just look at some of these dudes on this team right now, and I think you are going to have to find a way to upgrade your running back spot. And I think the only way that you can do that and understand that you have to make some tough decisions. And you're probably going to take a beating. My guess is you're going to take a beating on a guy like Austin Eckler, who you're going to have to upgrade, because you're not going to pay him to come back, and he's going to want a significant piece of coin.
Right. Yeah.
I think, but they have the goods in Los Angeles. The Chargers absolutely have talent. And you look at guys that they can leverage on that roster. The guy that really stands out to me is Quentin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's an NFL number 2. I truly do not.
Jim has shown the ability to develop guys.
Indeed he has. You're exactly right. So, Sneaker Shack. God, and I am such a shoot.
It's bad, dude.
We're rocking the 3s today, man. Like, I got shoeitis. Like, I think I'm pushing close to 200 pairs now. It's wild. The NIL ship is heading up north. What does that mean? The Ohio State NIL ship is heading up north. What does that mean? Let me know. I don't know what that means. I hope Jim doesn't do well with the Chargers. That jerk deserves to lose every game for the rest of his career. Okay. WTF craps. Wow. How the heck are you? Oregon needs a couple of elite interiors to complete the epic roster. Maybe Michigan will shed a few of them in the portal. What do you think? I think all bets are off right now. I mean,
but I think the veracity of Dan Lanning is not to be doubted. I mean, the guy knows how to recruit.
Joseph Harper, wouldn't surprise me if Khakis don't draft Blake Corum. Nah, I don't think he'll do that. Jim is a lot of things. He's not stupid and he's not loyal. You just need to know that. UW fan Jim, not a Ducks fan, but they are the real deal. OU versus OU for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. Smoke.
Yeah. Pierre Gatling. The Chargers just hired Harbaugh per the LA Times. Wow.
Dude.
Is that true?
Holy shit. Bro. What? Hey, can you put your number in the comments so I can call you and have you come do the show?
Every day. Wow.
No idea,
Pierre,
dude. Wow.
Are you sure that we didn't Jake, how did we miss that?
Let me
couple
get
of hacks
the
on YouTube
going here and we'll
dial it up.
And,
get the AOL rolling.
Yeah, and we'll get some information going here and try to keep up with the curve. You know what I mean? Like that's just what we have to do.
And look at my guy Pierre. He's like, yes, yeah, they did. We know,
dude. Oh my. Hey, can I? Somebody in the comment section, can you fill in Pierre that we've been talking about it for like an hour now?
You guys, maybe listen to the show before you.
Bonnie, please
comment. Russell is not a crappy QB. Which Russell? Wilson? Jamarcus? No, he can't mean Russell Wilson. He's a very crappy quarterback. Jamarcus Russell? Oh. Jeff Woodruff, he is now. Captain Khaki is a sociopath. He burned down the school and was across state lines before the kindling was sold. He's a sociopath. Boss Frog is in.
Well,
hey guys, what's happening? Who's Sammy? You don't want to know.
Hey guys.
Sammy had a rough day. He's taking a nap because he said this wasn't happening. Sammy is Salty is Sammy's boss. Exactly. Dirk McLovin, Chargers will be in the Super Bowl within 3 years. I would agree with that. John DeLon, only females should have over 200 pairs of shoes. And you don't know what you're
talking about. Reset.
No. Big Daddy Magic, I got pictures with Dan Landing. Who's Dan Landing?
Yeah, I don't know who Dan Landing is.
Is that Dan?
Your beloved?
Is that Dan from Knots Landing?
Big Daddy Magic.
John DeLon, somebody buy that Pierre Boy a membership. Exactly right. Tanner Plummer, Frog Boy, where have you been? Oh, fuck. Here we go. Tanner,
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Why, Tanner? Why? Dirk McLevin says, looks like a done deal. Pierre, I just jumped on your show. Appreciate it. Don't jump. It's fragile. You might break it. Yes, we are aware that Jim Harbaugh was hired. I appreciate you saying that. Katie Rader, member for 4 months.
Let's go, baby. By the way, any update on the like button here? I mean,
update on the like button?
Have we made any progress?
Okay, are we at 500 likes yet?
I mean, God, I hope so. We're pushing 9,000 views on the show, I think.
Let's see. 533.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
We're at almost 8,000 views on the show, so we appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Well, okay. Again, Pierre, you may not know this. Adam Schefter is reporting that the Chargers gave Jim Harbaugh a 5-year deal.
And let me guess. And, I'm just going out on a limb. Let me guess. Jim and the Spanoses, they got together and they mutually agreed to meet in the middle at 10. Wow.
That would be amazing.
Wow.
Prize Picks is the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. If you're not playing Prize Picks, what the hell wrong with you, boy? Download the Prize Picks app. Our guy, Joseph Harper, who is tragically a Seattle Seahawks fan. We forgive him for that. He is on a heater on Prize Picks. I was looking on my Prize Picks app. In the month of January, I've won over $1,000 already.
Must be nice.
On Prize Picks. So your boy is on a heater as well. Prize Picks is so much fun. All you have to do is pick more or less. Like the card tonight. Yeah, I've won $1,042 this month. The card tonight in the National. Oh, how about the discount on Christian McCaffrey?
Gotta take more.
Christian McCaffrey, half a rushing yard.
I'm also looking at this Pacheco, half a rushing receiving TD.
Ooh,
That's juicy.
really? Rush receiving TDs, half for where is it? Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
And I think then you have do you take one for Lamar? George Kittle's at half. George Kittle's at half.
Justin Tucker, 1.5 field goals is real attractive.
Travis Kelce, half a rush receiving touchdown. Ooh, I think I got to take that.
Do you take an interception out of Jared Goff?
Gaff. I think you probably do.
Although that's a goblin, so you're not going to get paid as much.
Well, no, you get paid more. If it hits, you get paid more.
Okay.
You do. I think the interesting one is in touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, half a touchdown. Got to take that.
Got to take it. Got to
take it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that $100 flex play right there, boy.
Hey,
boy.
Boy.
I appreciate that. Mavericks star Kyrie Irving is out tonight. Oh, no, you pricks. He's out tonight?
Damn.
He's out. You got to be goddamn kidding me. He's out? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so brutal. That is so brutal. Okay. My Suns are going to win.
Your Suns.
My Phoenix Suns.
Oh, I got one on Prize Picks for you. Patty and Lamar to rush combo more than 92.5.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
How do you not like that?
Because I have to pee. So run through it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, 92.5 yards. I like that a lot. So
I like that a lot too.
Okay, cool.
No Kyrie tonight. Hey, you guys, great show today. Appreciate you very much. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Jim Harbaugh is the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Jake, who told you?
We told you on the morning program. Goodbye.